Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get out and stay out. Today, we're going to be talking about narcissistic jealousy. Now, before I go any further, I just want to say, excuse the background today. Yesterday, I went for one of the absolute final loads of my stuff that's been stored for some time now in my Narc's garage. So, just about out of there, and I can carry on with the decorating renovations here at my house. So, yay, just about done with that. Now, I had always been far more successful in life than my narcissist, and had had a pretty successful career as an art jewelry designer. I mean, my work had appeared in some of the best art galleries and museums, both nationally here in Canada and abroad, and in some of the absolute best boutiques anywhere. My jewelry had appeared in the Italian Vogue magazine. So I had felt, at that point that I was kind of on top of my game as far as being an art jewelry designer goes. Now, the Narc and I lived in a house that had quite a bit of empty space in the basement weren't being used. So I had been suggesting for quite some time that I get a jewelry studio set up and I get back to work. Now, this was kind of brushed off. He avoided the conversation until finally he agrees, not in the house, no, not in the house, but out in the garage. He was going to give me a couple feet of space to work in. Now, I kind of thought, since my work had been featured in the Italian Vogue magazine, I would have been somewhat worthy of a corner of the basement, but apparently not. So off I go to the garage. I set up a work table and I'm organizing my jewelry supplies. And, he comes out with a glass of wine for each of us, and he's sitting across from me at the table. And I guess initially I thought that he was sharing in something that was important to me. So there we are, out in the garage having a glass of wine. I'm making jewelry. He's looking at beads and supplies and things like that. And next thing you know, he's making jewelry. Now, this is not someone who has, you know, much in the way of good taste. He has zero connection to the fashion industry. I mean, this is a fairly poorly dressed man, really no style or taste whatsoever. Certainly wouldn't be considered, a notable visionary of design and style, but nonetheless, he's sitting there and he's making jewelry. Now, he doesn't really know how to assemble it, so I've got to stop what I'm doing all the time to kind of help him and show him, and he's getting me to assemble all this stuff for him. Sudden, I'm not making jewelry anymore. I've instantly, in my own space, been reduced to his design assistant and gopher. I was really kind of shocked by what was happening, but it carried on for several days. Now, finally, he's able to amass this collection of jewelry that I had worked on with him as kind of his low-level assembly assistant. And, he had created this horrible, nasty little collection of jewelry. And I didn't really know what to make of it. So I very quickly realized what's going on now. We're going out in public. We're going to visit his mother. We're going to see people. Well, Captain Jewelry Designer over here is taking his jewelry with him everywhere we go. It's constantly in the truck or it's in his pocket, and everywhere we go where we run into people, he's pulling it out and he's showing them, and he's, really excited about his jewelry collection. Now, he doesn't mention I'm a jewelry designer. He doesn't mention where he got the beads. He doesn't mention anything. Now, when you're shoving jewelry in people's faces, they really, have no choice but to say, oh, that's really nice. So as people are doing this and responding to his bizarre behavior, there he is with this smug look on his face. And yeah, oh, Lord. So days roll on and I'm still working and I'm feeling pretty good about the jewelry I'm producing. And, oh, he's not proud. He doesn't like it. He has stepped up as the jewelry designer, in our little clusterfuck of whatever that thing was we had going. And, I'm continuing to work and he's becoming incensed. I mean, he's bitterly angry. He goes on a drunken rampage and, starts knocking my jewelry stuff everywhere. I mean, there's millions of tiny components. Now his mother has to come racing over. His mother and I are not packing my stuff up. We're literally sweeping everything, off the table with our arms into boxes until my jewelry making supplies that had once been neatly sorted are now in this, oh God, it's still like that. I mean, I'm going to be a year sorting it out. So destructive. I mean, his jealousy extended beyond what was ever going to be reasonable or acceptable in my mind. Now, because the narcissist by nature is excessively jealous, bitter, envious, and just overall rotten human being, it became very apparent to me very quickly that he was never going to let me have any success at all in any area. And he just had to continue diminishing me and, squashing everything that would be a potential success for me. He simply wasn't going to have it. And, his attempts to do this were so covert and so sneaky, and ultimately, of course, ended in toddler rage, as it always did. I mean, absolutely flailing, screaming, ranting, foot stomping, name calling, toddler rage. Now, this sack of shit is continuing to perpetuate his newfound career as a jewelry designer, and he's starting to become really insulting and saying things to me like, my jewelry would sell faster than yours. You're just jealous of me. Say, his jewelry was horrible. It was just horrible. Now, to say the least, this was very, very short-lived. Returning to jewelry design clearly was not going to work as long as I had any, contact, association, affiliation with this creep whatsoever. And, now that I'm in my own home, again, now free from this piece of shit, I look into my boxes of jewelry supplies and, oh my God, the mess. I mean, the incredible damage and destruction and, humiliation. And I mean, oh, unbelievable. Narcissists are so bitterly jealous. And this one, unreal. I mean, God, I'm so glad to be free of him. If you're a narc, get the fuck out of there. These people are desperately ill. Nothing good is ever going to come of it. And you should, be looking for a partner who's going to be supportive and nurturing, not destroying everything that, gets in their path. They're horrible, horrible people.